Welcome back. In the earlier lecture, you learned how to set up or how to get access to the learning environment. In this lecture, I'll help you understand how to test your learning environment, that everything is working perfectly fine, and also learn along with how to use your learning environment for your learning activities. So let's start. Log into your Databricks Community Edition. That's your learning environment. Sign in. And it might open something like this. Go to Workspace. That's the place where you will go for creating files or notebooks and writing your code and all that. Go to Workspace. You will see Home Directory and Workspace Directory. Prefer using Home Directory. Click the Home Directory and you will see a space here. What is there in your Home Directory? Initially, you will see nothing, right? But you can import few things here. So click the import button and you will see something like this. This allows you to import your example notebooks to the learning environment. As part of this course, you will be given a download resources link. I'll show you how to download resources in a separate video. Once you download those resources, it will be a zip file. You uncompress it, and after uncompressing, you will have a directory where you will see two directories in your uncompressed resources. One directory will be notebooks directory, another directory is SQL data directory. Come to the notebooks directory and you will see at least one this DBC file, SQL Essentials DBC file. This is your course file. This one you need to drag and drop here, or you can click browse and select that DBC file. I'll simply drag and drop here. So bring it here and drop it here. It will be imported. Just do an import. And that entire SQL Essentials course content will be imported into your learning environment for your work, right? So you will see SQL Essentials directory here. After importing, just go inside the directory and you will see two further subdirectories inside the SQL Essential directory: completed chapters and do it yourself chapters. All the exercises and lessons that we are going to do in this course will be available to you in the form of notebooks. You will import those notebooks in this learning environment for your reference or for your hands-on activity. All those notebooks are available in two formats: completed chapter formats and do it yourself formats. Right, so let's go into the do it yourself chapter. The content of both these directories are duplicate. Let me show you what is there in the do it yourself chapter. Inside the do it yourself chapter, you will see chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 like that. It's not yet complete, but when you import it, you might see 10, 12 chapters or 7, 8 chapters, whatever we end up creating. So you will see all those chapters. Go inside any chapter, for example, chapter 2 or chapter 3. Let me go into chapter 3 and you will see notebooks used in those chapters. For example, creating databases and tables is a notebook, but it is available in do it yourself chapters, chapter 3. Go inside this and you will see a notebook which looks like this, right, where you will see what to do and a blank cell, what to do and a blank cell. Similarly, what to do and a blank cell. So do it yourself is your exercise, right? You can use these to type in your code, do your practice and run it and see what you learned, how things are working. Whereas if you go back to Workspace again, here come to Home, SQL Essentials, instead of do it yourself, you come to completed chapters. You will see same chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. Go into any chapter. For example, let's go again into chapter 3 and look at the same notebook in completed chapters, creating database and tables. Okay. And in this, you will see same question, but with the answers. Same question, but with the code. Same question with the code, right? So these are the notebooks that are created during the lectures. As I keep on teaching, I'll keep on typing these and explaining all these, and these finished notebooks will be shared with you for your reference. But the main thing that I want to share with you is the in the SQL Essentials Do It Yourself. These are the notebooks where you can do it yourself. Same thing what you learned in the exercises or in the videos or in the lectures, do it yourself, dirty your hands. Then only you are going to learn or remember or be able to memorize those things what you learned in this course. So follow along with the course, use do it yourself notebooks. I will also use do it yourself notebooks during the teaching. You should also take the do it yourself notebooks for yourself and try to repeat the same codes, do same things that I'm teaching in the course. That's about how do you go about the course. Next thing, we want to test our environment. This is first time we are into the environment. We want to test whether environment is working perfectly or not, and also learn how to use this environment. So for doing that, you can come to chapter 2 in your do it yourself chapters directory. You will see one notebook 01 SQL Essentials. This is the notebook that I showed you earlier. You can see all the notebooks in the chapter. You here in the side panel, if you want, you can close it. You want to open it again, you can open it. A very nice UI interface. Close it and you will see code like this. I prefer using dark theme, and this is system default or light theme. If you want to use dark theme also, you can come to the environment here. It will show your name here. Come to this and go to settings, and there are so many settings here. Come to the developer setting, scroll down and you will see dark mode for notebook editor. As of now, it is use system defaults. When you open it, when you get access to this environment, you are also likely to see use system defaults. You want to change it to dark mode, light mode, whatever, you can switch it. So I prefer using dark mode, so I'm changing it to dark mode. That's all. Done. No save is required. Come back to workspace, go to SQL Essentials, do it yourself chapter. We are into the chapter 2 and we want to use this notebook to test my environment is working perfectly fine. So go inside the notebook and now you can see dark theme, right? It's your personal choice. If you want to use dark theme, use the dark theme. So this is the notebook, and you already learned, I guess, that you can type code line by line in these cells, right? So each cell allows you to type code and run the code. For executing the code in that cell, you can press this play button, or you can type here and press Control Enter from your keyboard and it will run. But for executing this code, this is just code and it is sitting in my browser. For executing this code, we need a machine, right? We need a server, a database server, which can execute my SQL. Without DBMS or without the database software, you cannot run these SQL statements or any kind of code. So you will need your database server. How to get a server? This environment gives you a one free server. So how to do that, or how to create your one free server? Come to this compute menu, maybe press Control button and then click this compute and it will open it in a new tab. So you don't lose this tab. It opens into new tab. From here you can create a compute server or a server machine. It will be created in the cloud exclusively for you and you can use it. Just hit the create compute button. You can give some name for the server. By default it will be your name's cluster. You can change it to, let's say I want to change it to Spark SQL server. Whatever name you want to give. There is no rule for giving this name or that name. Whatever name you can you want, you can give. You can also choose some version. There are many versions here. You want to choose the latest long-term supported version, you can choose that, or you can leave it default. That is perfectly fine. SQL is same in both the versions. And just hit the create compute button and Databricks will create a server for you in the cloud, right? And that server comes with free 15 GB memory. That server comes with 15 GB memory. It's a small server, but more than enough for you to do your hands-on activity and exercises. If you leave that server unused for more than an hour or 2 hours, they will terminate that server. If you keep on using it continuously or frequently, the server will keep running. But the server has a cost, right? It is running in the cloud. They are giving you it free, but they have to pay it to the cloud. Databricks has to pay the cost of the server to the cloud provider. So what they do, if you don't use it for hour or 2 hours, they realize that you created a server, you are not using it, so they will terminate it and it will be stopped, right? So if you come back to the compute menu anytime, you will see that your server is there. It's green status, it's running, right? But for any reason, if you left it for the day, you logged in, you created a server, you are doing your hands-on, and after an hour you are done, so you left it for the day. Next day when you logged in, you will see that server is in the terminated state. If you want to see, you can manually terminate. Let me manually terminate it, and it will be terminated. And when the next day when you log in it, since you were not using for more than 1 or 2 hours, the server will be terminated automatically, and you will see it like this, right? Server is terminated. They show you a start button. You can start it again, but unfortunately in this free community edition, they don't allow you to start. If you click this, are you sure you want to start cluster Spark SQL server? Confirm, and then they will say could not start cluster. This cluster start feature is currently disabled, so you cannot restart it. But that's not a problem. You can simply click this and delete this guy. Next day, right? You delete this cluster or server. That's fine. This is done, and create a new one. You can create one, right? Let's again call it Spark SQL server, right? And hit the create compute button, and it will again create a new cluster or a new server for you, and you can start using it, right? So let it start. I'll wait for a couple of minutes. It usually takes 1 or 2 minutes to start the server. Once it is started, we will see what to do next. So now this server is started. You can see green tick. It's saying cluster running. We are done here. You can close it. Now I'm back to my notebook. This is the place where I can write my code. So I have the code here. I want to run this, but how do I run this? This code should run on the Spark SQL server I just created. So for doing that, I have to connect this notebook to the Spark SQL server. Click the connect button. You will see your server name with green button here. Just click this and it will be connected. Once it is connected, you can run this code. Whatever code is there, it will go and run on that server and show you result below the cell. So let's do this. But before that, in almost every notebook, for your simplicity, I have added a cleanup script here. You should run the cleanup script or set up scripts in the beginning so that it will clean up or set up necessary things for you so that you can use the rest of the code. I'll keep on explaining it slowly as we progress with the course, but let's run the cleanup first and it will do the cleanup. The cleanup is mainly to help you or save you from unnecessary errors. For example, if I have created one table or one database, right? Next day, again, I want to create the same table or same database. You might get an error message saying that database or table already exists. But if you run the cleanup, it will clean up the previous executions. Whatever you did earlier or whatever you did yesterday, it will clean up. And then you will have a fresh ground to start fresh. So make sure you are always running these cleanup scripts in any of the exercise notebooks provided to you for this course. And then you can start running your code. So this is the first cell which says create database if not exist, blah, blah, blah. We still didn't start learning the SQL, but what I want to do here is run this and test if everything is working fine or not. So let's run this and okay, so it worked. Next statement, let's run it. Create table. I want to create table and it should also work. So table is also created. The next statement is loading data into this diamonds table, and it is loading from this data file, right? File store SQL data diamonds.json file. Where is this file? This file is not there in your learning environment. It is available in the downloads that you have downloaded. Let me show you. So earlier I mentioned when you download the resources for this course, uncompress the download file. In the uncompressed directory, you will see two subdirectories, notebook and SQL data. SQL data is the directory where you will find all the sample data or data that we will be using in this course. Let's go inside as of now you see one folder club and one file diamonds.json file. Only these two things are there, but when you download it you might see multiple things. Things are still in progress, so once those things are there, by the end of the course creation you will see a lot of things here. But that's fine, you will see some files, some folders in the SQL data directory. What you need to do, you need to take this from your local machine and upload it into your learning environment. This learning environment is running in the cloud, so you have to upload that in the cloud so you can use it in your exercises and your practice. How to upload it in the cloud? When you have any notebook open, just go to the file menu and upload data to DBFS. DBFS is the cloud directory provided by this learning environment, Databricks Community Edition. So just click the upload data to DBFS and it will open this kind of dialog box where it shows the whatever you are going to upload will be uploaded into file store / blah blah blah. So we don't want this, so you select this and delete it. And instead of whatever by default was shown here, you need to type in SQL-data. This is the directory name that I showed you here. If you come back, SQL-data. Remember, this is SQL-data. It's not SQL_data. So make sure the directory name that you are typing here is SQL-data, right? If you give an incorrect name, maybe your resources or the code that you are downloading might not work or start throwing error, because we have assumed that the data will be available in SQL-data directory. So make sure you type SQL-data here, and then here you can drag and drop all your data files at once. So come down, go inside the SQL data. You might see many things here. Select all that, right? I have only two things, one file and one directory. Inside the directory there are more files. So when you download it, you might see 5, 10, 20 directories. Select all, right? And then you need to drag and drop it here, or you can browse and select all. But let me drag and drop it here. So bring it to your browser and drop it here. And it will show you green tick for everything. It will do verification and green tick and upload. That's all. Once that is done, you can close it. It shows next, but we don't need to go next. Just simply do the close button. Now your data files are uploaded in the cloud and it is stored in the file store / SQL data directory. This file is now available in the file store SQL data directory. So this piece of code now will work. If I run it without uploading the data into this directory, it will throw an error, say file not found. So let's run it. We are not learning SQL yet. We are just learning how to use this learning environment so you can use it comfortably, right? So, and I'm testing that everything is working. So it worked, right? And then SQL query, this should also work, or maybe you can click here and press Control Enter from your keyboard and it will run, whatever you prefer. Either press Control Enter to execute one cell, or you can click the play button and execute the cell. I'm just running all these cells of SQL examples. So we are sure that everything is working. If this notebook works 100%, then you are good to start. Your environment is working perfectly fine. All things you have done properly. So everything worked, right? I executed this notebook cell by cell, right? I executed this, then I executed this, then I executed this. If you want to run all that in one shot, if you have made sure that you have done all the setup, you have uploaded the data also, and just run it one shot, then you have the button here, run all, and it will run all the cells one by one. So this notebook is designed in a way you can run it as many times you want from the beginning. And that's why we have a cleanup script in the beginning. So it will do the cleanup, whatever you have done in the notebook downwards, all that will be removed and environment will be cleaned up by this cleanup script. So I executed all, run all is not showing any error. It all completed again, and that's all. So you learned how to test your learning environment, how to use your learning environment, how to upload your code, your exercise files, your samples and your sample data to this environment, and how to use it. Other things we will keep on learning along with the course. as we progress. That's all for this lecture. See you again. Keep learning and keep growing.